In yet another poll, Donald Trump takes a commanding lead over Joe Biden. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time to talk about the 2024 presidential election. Now, as most of you probably know, Donald Trump has been polling the best he has ever polled. Basically, every poll shows him winning the popular vote. Well, a brand new poll from the New York Times shows he's not just winning by 1 point, he is winning by 5 percentage points over Joe Biden. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. So let's get right into it because I cannot believe that Trump is pulling this good. I understand that Biden is not that liked, but you are talking about upwards of a 10-point shift from 2020. If this poll is true, again, we are in March of 2024. Things could theoretically change, but at this point in time, Trump is up by upwards of 5 points, according to the New York Times. President Biden is struggling to overcome doubts about his leadership inside his own party and broad dissatisfaction over the nation's direction, leaving him trailing behind Donald John Trump just as their general election contest is about to begin. A new poll from the New York Times and Siena College has found. With 8 months left until the November election, Mr. Biden's 43% support lags behind Mr. Trump's 48% in the national survey of registered voters. Yeah, Trump's at 48%. So, no matter what happens, even if every single undecided breaks for Biden, which that's not going to happen, Trump is already surpassing the amount of votes he got in 2020, at least percentage-wise. Only 1 in 4 voters think the country's moving in the right direction. More than twice as many voters believe Mr. Biden's policies have personally hurt them as believe his policies have helped them. A majority of voters think the economy is in poor condition, and the share of voters who strongly disapprove of Biden's handling of his job has reached 47%. Yeah. This paragraph alone should tell you everything. Listen, could the polling be off? Sure. But at some point, people have to realize this isn't a fluke. We are in March. We're not in, February of 2023. No, we are in March of 2024. And you're telling me we are still getting polling for Biden like this. You can't deny it. There is something happening that the polling alone can explain. People just think Biden sucks. They think he's worse than Trump. Not a grand conspiracy where the polling is all wrong and secretly the real polling has him down by 30 points. There isn't anything like that. This is just factual. People think Biden sucks. The poll offers an array of warning signs for the president about weaknesses within the Democratic coalition, including among women, Black, and Latino voters. So far, it is Mr. Trump who has better unified his party, even amid an ongoing primary contest. Yeah, we can actually see this in the turnout on the Democratic side. Yes, some Democrats are voting for Haley. I understand that, but you look at some of the precinct data out of South Carolina and Nevada, the turnout among Latinos and Black voters was awful. I know it's a primary, but still. That should scare Democrats that these voters, they are not enthusiastic for Joe at all. Mr. Biden has marched through the early nominating states with only nominal opposition, but the polls show that Democrats remain deeply divided about the prospect of Mr. Biden leading the party again. About as many Democratic primary voters said Mr. Biden should not be the nominee in 2024 as said he should be, with opposition strongest among voters younger than 45 years old. Man, what a good sign for Biden. I mean, how can people look at this and say, oh, there's nothing wrong here? Nothing at all. Perfectly fine. This is a disaster for Joe. This is pathetic. I mean, Trump never had this problem in 2020. Obama never did. The fact that Biden is doing this bad within his own party, Again, they're voting for him, but they're not enthusiastic for him. They're like, better than Orange Man. Mr. Trump's ability to consolidate the Republican base better than Mr. Biden has unified the base of his own party shows up starkly in the current thinking of 2020 voters. Mr. Trump is winning 97% of those who say they voted for him 4 years ago, and virtually none of his past supporters said they are casting a ballot for Mr. Biden. In contrast, Mr. Biden is winning only 83% of his 2020 voters, with 10% saying they now back Trump. Think about that for a second. Trump is winning basically every single one of his voters from 4 years ago. But Biden? He's barely cracking 80%. That could change, yes. But 10% are saying they back Trump. 10% of them. Trump never had this problem, ever. Obama didn't. None of them. You're talking about 10% of your voters saying, we are back in the opposition now. That is horrible for Biden. There's no way to point at that other than, yeah, Biden has some serious problems with his base. It's going to be a very tough decision. I'm seriously thinking about not voting, said Mamtha Misra, a 57-year-old Democrat and economics professor in Lafayette, Louisiana, who voted for Mr. Biden in 2020. Trump voters are going to come out no matter what. For Democrats, it's going to be bad. I don't know why they're not thinking of someone else. Mr. Trump's 5-point lead in the survey, which was conducted in late February, is slightly larger than in the last Time/CNN national poll of voters in December. Among the likely electorate, Trump currently leads by 4 percentage points. And once again, the theory that higher turnout benefits Trump is real. I mean, he's doing better in the registered voter polls, which means much more people can take the poll, not just likely voters, those that are going to vote no matter what. In last year's survey, Trump led by 2 points, and Mr. Biden led by 2 points among the projected likely electorate. So yeah, in 1 year, we have seen a 3 to 6 point shift in favor of Trump, both in the registered voter poll and the likely voter poll. One of the most ominous findings for Mr. Biden in the new poll is that the historical edge Democrats have held with working-class voters of color who did not attend college continues to erode. Mr. Biden won 72% of those voters in 2020, according to exit polling, providing him with a nearly 50-point edge over Mr. Trump. Today, the Time/CNN poll showed Mr. Biden only narrowly winning among non-white voters who did not graduate from college, 47 to 41%. Yeah. He's only up by 6 points among these voters when he won them by 50 in 2020. Now, to be clear, it is entirely possible that some of this swing comes from statistical noise, and maybe Trump is doing worse with these voters than the polling is indicating. Fine. But to claim that a 40-point swing is just a fluke, that, oh, there's nothing happening, it's a one-off, when every poll this cycle shows, if it's not a 40-point swing, 20 to 30-point swing among minority working class voters. An excitement gap between the two parties shows up repeatedly in the survey. Only 23% of Democratic primary voters said they were enthusiastic about Mr. Biden, half the share Republicans who said they were about Mr. Trump. And you scroll down here, this graph is one of the biggest problems for Biden. His voters are just not enthusiastic. They're not excited to go vote for Biden. It's not like back in 2012 when Democrats loved Obama and they were going to vote for him no matter what. In this scenario, they're not excited for Joe. They think he's all right, but nothing to be enthusiastic over. We've seen this in the primary. There's no Democrats voting. They're just not. That's a big problem for Joe. You cannot win the presidency without your base. And right now, his base, they're just not excited. While Republican voters, they want Trump. They're enthusiastic. They're ready to go vote for him once again, volunteer for him, any of that. Not Democrats. They're like, meh, whatever. Better than Orange Man, maybe, but at some point, that strategy doesn't work. If you've been using it for 8 years straight now, the Orange Man bad philosophy gets you so far. Both Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden are unpopular. Mr. Trump had a 44% favorable rating. Mr. Biden fared even worse at 38%. Yeah, the one metric that, in my opinion, gave Biden the presidency in 2020 was favorability. He was at like the mid-50s, while Trump was always in the low 40s. At best, you're talking about the stars align. He's at 41%. Now, he's at 44%. While Biden, he's not even at 40. He's at 38. Among the 19% of voters who said they disapproved of both likely nominees, Mr. Biden actually led Mr. Trump 45 to 33%. And this is a big deal. Some people are saying that, well, these voters broke for Trump back in 2016. That means it's over for him. Not necessarily. These double haters, they hate both candidates. They're more Democrat now. There are a lot of Democrats that hate both of them. Way more than 2016 and 2020. Hell, in 2020, there really wasn't that many double haters because a lot more people like Biden. I mean, that's the thing with what's happening. There are a lot of Democrats that now hate Biden. Yeah, they're breaking for him, but there's still a large chunk of his voters they're breaking for Trump. The candidate who has won such double haters was victorious in the elections of both 2016 and 2020. For now, though, unhappiness with the state of the country is plainly a drag on Mr. Biden's prospects. 2/3 of the country feels the nation is heading in the wrong direction, and Mr. Trump is winning 63% of those voters. What more do I say? Biden has so many problems, and this poll shows it's not just a top-line fluke that, Biden is actually doing so good. He's not. Every metric, favorability, enthusiasm, approval, everything shows he's getting crushed. And Trump is in a really good position to win this year. Now, could things change? Absolutely. But either way, this is just a flat-out disaster. I mean, there's no other way to put it for Biden. And if I was a Democrat operative, I would be saying, okay, we are screwed. Right now, if the election was held today, Trump would win. You cannot deny it. You cannot say, well, this is just a fluke. When virtually every poll is showing he is winning, and by several points. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.